So back in 2015, when I used to have the freedom to go to the bookstore every Wednesday, I brought this very strange book called The Strange Library. I find it very strange because the cover sort of opens up like a box wherein you have to flip two flaps in order to open up the book. Not to mention that unlike any other books, the illustrations in this book are very strange and otherworldly like. Not saying that it was made by some strange man or something. The author's name is called Haruki Murakami, which according to the last page of the book, has made a lot of books. So you could say that he is an experienced writer. I do have to say that this book holds a special place in my love for reading because this was the first time that I read a book made by an Asian. And you know that we Asians are really good with character development in any form of storytelling, and this book is no exception. When I read through this book, I cannot stop reading it. I also forgot to mention that this was the 7th bestseller in the bookstore, and I was like, number 7? It should have been number 1, and all that stuff. Because this story is really an awesome reading. The story was all about a little boy who went to a library one night to return a book. When he wanted to find more books, he ended up finding a room with an old man inside. But as the story continues, he started to notice that the man lured the boy to a trap. The old man told him to read through the books he picked just so he can eat his brain and gain the knowledge of his mind. Wow! This was actually very strange. But then again, someone from Japan made this. So the boy planned on how to escape the library, which I don't want to spoil in this video. You should go buy the book yourself to see the whole story. As strange as how I summarized the book, it was actually very great. In fact, this whole story is all very perfect. I could not distinguish one little detail that would ruin it. One of my favorite aspects of the story is that even if you did complete the story, you're still left wondering the mysteries to this book. Who is this boy? What happened to this family? Who is that glass girl? It leaves you with so many mysteries, which I actually love about this book. The one thing that some people tend to forget in books is that the ending would not always hold the answer. Sometimes, books would give you clues and it's only up to you to piece all of it together to make one logical idea, which is what this book did. I had also grown fond of this girl in the story. She didn't have a name, which is a habit that this story seems to have with its characters. She was sweet, kind of the protagonist to the story. She does seem to be as independent as the main character, unlike some other characters in other stories. You could say that she was as sweet as Death in the story, Come Lady Death, which is actually kind of coincidental. If the author really did portray the girl here as Death, it would have been really surprising. Sadly, the story kind of lost touch with this special character. What do I mean? Just read the story. Again, I'm not going to spoil anything in this video. I would like to think that it would be some sort of piracy for the author. The only thing that I kind of hate as a reader is that it was short. I wanted to see more to the story, but then again though, sometimes short is good. It is rare to see book series nowadays to hold the same feeling for its characters as the series progress. Heck, I think this even applies to other forms of storytelling. Take a Sword Art Online, or the original Spider-Man movies. Those two were all great at the start, but then you start seeing that they either change entirely, or they keep repeating the same trope that starts to get annoying at times. So if you ask me whether or not the book should have a sequel, I think it is best that we keep the book that way. Heck, I would rather see Sword Art Online cancel its other arcs. The Strange Library can be very bizarre at times, like the fact that an old psychopath wants to eat the main character's brain, but the story never lets go of what the whole story is about. Think of it as the anime Madoka Magica, wherein as bizarre as the setting is, you can still find a great plot buried within it. So do I recommend reading The Strange Library? Hell yes. In fact, it could have been my number 1 book that I have read in 2015. So go read it. I guarantee that you won't get disappointed with this book. And if you want to see more of this stuff, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Although you might first find my Vanilla Show playlist in there, which was another thing I am working on in my channel. But I will try to post some of these book reviews every 2 weeks, and I will see you next time.